Machiavelli never said heal. He said burn, sever, replace. If the past has made you soft, it must be erased. Not gradually, not politely, but violently. Rip the emotional roots out. Cut ties. Let people call you cold. Let them mourn the version of you that once served them. You are not here to stay familiar. You are here to become dangerous. There comes a moment when the past becomes your prison. Memories, regrets, lost friendships, dead dreams. They don't inspire you anymore. They weaken you. They shackle you with nostalgia, keeping you loyal to versions of yourself that no longer deserve to exist. This is not about peace. This is war with your former self. You will learn how to delete your past and rebuild without mercy. Let's begin. Most people are slaves to memory. They say, I used to be happy. I miss how things were. I want to get back to who I was. Fools. There is no going back. The past is a cemetery. Yet instead of burying the dead, you drag corpses into your future. Old friendships that no longer serve you. Outdated dreams. Guilt from mistakes made years ago. Worse, you remain loyal to people who only loved the weaker version of you. The version that said yes. The version that obeyed. The version that needed validation. Machiavelli teaches, to gain power, you must become unrecognizable. You must betray your former self. Every time you try to hold on to the past, you reduce your edge. You trade evolution for emotional comfort. But power does not tolerate sentiment. It requires sacrifice. Let this be your turning point. We are not here to reflect. We are here to cut. You can't rise if you are dragging corpses. That's what most people don't understand. They think growth is about addition, adding new habits, new people, new ideas. But power begins not with addition, but with subtraction. Look around you. Every name in your contacts list, every voice in your head, every routine you repeat without question. Now ask yourself, who or what, if removed, would make me faster, sharper, freer? That is your dead weight. Cut it. And Machiavelli would tell you, cut it. The weak links will slow the army. If you are still surrounded by people who think like your former self, the self you're trying to escape, you are not evolving. You are orbiting failure. Familiarity is not a virtue. It's a trap. You must conduct a cold audit. Who makes you justify your ambition? Who guilts you for changing? Who drags you back into old conversations, old habits, old memories? These people may not hate you, but they slow you down. And that is enough, because in the pursuit of power, delay is death. Silence is the first blade. In warfare, a single slow soldier can stall an entire battalion. That's why ancient generals were ruthless with discipline. One weak link could cost the battle. One hesitation could mean defeat. The same is true in your personal campaign. Your life is an army. Your habits are soldiers. Your mindset is the general. And your relationships, they are either allies or liabilities. You must do the same. Don't announce your departure. Don't explain your silence. Don't write a final message trying to make them understand. Just cut. Block the number. Walk away mid-conversation. Miss the meeting on purpose. Vanish without explanation. Let them feel the absence. Let them guess. Your disappearance will say more than your words ever could. Most people try to distance themselves gently. They wait for the right time. They want to leave without hurting anyone's feelings. Machiavelli would laugh at this weakness. He believed in surgical strikes. If someone was no longer useful, he didn't wait. He didn't apologize. He removed. Understand this. Loyalty is only noble when it's mutual. When it becomes a one-way leash around your neck, it becomes betrayal of yourself. You owe your old connections nothing except silence. Cut. Stop being the therapist of the group. Too many of you are trapped because you've become emotionally useful to others. You're the listener, the fixer, The crutch. They don't value you. They use you to feel better about their own stagnation. They want the version of you that says it's okay. You Esther doing your best. You're not their therapist. You're not their savior. You are not a safe space. You are a threat to the mediocrity they worship. But power comes from saying, this is not enough. Rise or be left behind. When you stop tolerating emotional laziness, they will call you arrogant, cold, ruthless, good. Let them. You are not here to be loved. You are here to be undeniable. Leave no bridges intact. People always say, dawn set burn bridges. Machiavelli would respond, only if you are weak enough to return. A bridge left standing is a temptation to retreat. A trap you set for yourself. You whisper, just in case I fail, I can always go back. No. Burn it. Make the past unrecoverable. Remove the safety net. Put yourself in a position where survival requires transformation. Only then will you grow sharp. Only then will you learn how much of your potential you've been withholding out of comfort. So burn the old city. Leave no map to find your way back. Let them wonder where you went. Let them gossip about who you became. Power is not found in ease. It is extracted from pressure. Because you are not coming back to explain. But what do you do when the real enemy is the invisible string of emotions still wrapped around your mind? If cutting dead weight is the first step, deleting sentiment is the second, and far more dangerous. You can block a person. You can leave a place. That's what sentiment is, emotional residue, the echo of old relationships. Nostalgia, guilt, comfort. It blinds you. It chains you. It makes you hesitate when you should strike. Machiavelli had no tolerance for this. In The Prince, he made it clear. A wise ruler must not hesitate to be cruel when cruelty is necessary. Cruelty isn't about blood. It's about clarity. And there is no clarity while you're drowning in sentiment. Sentiment is a weapon used against you. Do you know why people want you to remember the good times? Because those memories soften you. They make you second guess. They make you stay even when staying costs you your ambition. Sentimentality is a trap disguised as loyalty. You say things like, but we've been friends for years. They helped me when I was struggling. They were not perfect, but they were there for me once. So you stay. But power demands the opposite. Why? Because sentiment demands that you betray your future out of respect for your past. You keep that old friend around. You keep answering that message. You keep tolerating the outdated version of your life. Emotions are tools, not masters. He never said don't feel. Machiavelli saw emotions the way a blacksmith sees fire, useful when controlled, deadly when ignored. Does this emotion serve my rise? Does this feeling help me evolve? Or is it making me weak? He said, don't obey your feelings. So when guilt creeps in, when nostalgia whispers in your ear, when memories cloud your vision, pause and ask, see them for what they are. Snapshots of who you used to be. Train yourself to see your past relationships stripped of their warmth and sentiment. No rose-colored lens, no softness. If the answer is weakness, that emotion must be discarded, like a broken weapon. And definitely not who you are becoming. Not who you are now. Burn the shrines. Your digital archives. Your memory triggers. Photos. Gifts. Old playlists. Messages you still reread in secret. Memories you romanticize when you're feeling low. Look around your room. Delete them. Burn them. Erase them all. You are a conqueror, forging a new empire. You are not a museum curator, preserving your emotional history. Why are you carrying relics from a lost kingdom? Why do you keep letters from people who would be threatened by your next transformation? Why do you still revisit the conversations that once comforted your weakness? This is not healing. You cannot fully evolve while keeping souvenirs from your former self. This is sabotage. Power does not come to those who look back. It comes to those who burn the path behind them. Guilt is the enemy of ascension. Guilt for changing. Sentiment, something's most powerful weapon, is guilt. Guilt for leaving people behind. Understand this. If you feel guilty for growing, it means you were conditioned to serve others before yourself. Guilt for succeeding while others stay stuck. Guilt for wanting more. You were programmed to feel shame for surpassing the pack. Machiavelli would call this a flaw to be corrected. Guilt is a leash tied around your neck, held by those who benefit from your stagnation. If the answer is no, then your guilt is misplaced. The next time you feel guilty for cutting someone off, ask yourself, did they ever feel guilty for slowing me down? You don't set updates. You don't net anyone your potential. You don't set explanations. That version of you died with their opportunity. You don't owe access to the upgraded version of yourself. They had their time. Not as the man who waited for permission, but not as the old you. Now that you've burned the past, cut the dead weight, and buried sentiment, the real work begins, rebuilding. You rebuild like a tyrant, cold, calculated, absolute. Not as the friend, the helper, the nice one. Not as the woman who explained herself. Machiavelli warned, a new ruler must at once set up a new order of things, for men will more readily endure present evils than new benefits. And if you don't take command, the world will rebuild you in its own image, weak, tame, apologetic. Because once you remove the ghosts, the void must be filled. Here is your blueprint for the rebuild. Translation: if you do not impose your new rules immediately and ruthlessly, people will drag you back into your former cage. 1. Reconstruct with precision, not emotion. This is not the time for dreaming. This is the time for discipline. Most people, when they let go of the past, try to find themselves. You need to create yourself, deliberately, aggressively, without apology. They wander, they seek peace, they drown in rituals of healing and self-discovery. You don't need to find yourself. Set your schedule like a general preparing for war. Build your identity like a fortress. Choose your inner circle, like a king selecting bodyguards. Emotion has no seat at this table. Eliminate distractions with the same decisiveness you use to eliminate enemies. You are not healing, you are reprogramming. If yes, it stays. You do not ask, how do I feel? You ask, does this serve my power? If not, it dies. The old version of you tolerated disrespect, disorganization, laziness, because you were afraid of confrontation, afraid of losing people, afraid of being alone. 2. Enforce new laws without mercy. That fear is dead now. In your new empire, there are rules, and these rules are not suggestions. If someone speaks with disrespect, they sever cut. You must set standards so high, they scare your former self. If a habit weakens your body or mind, it's removed. If an activity drains your energy without a clear return, it's gone. And when others question you, criticize you, or mock you, hold the line. Let them fall away. Let them say you've changed. That sets the point. A tyrant doesn't ask for agreement. Let them call you strict. 3. Move quickly to prevent rebellion. He imposes order. Machiavelli said, when rebuilding your life, take decisive action fast. Change everything at once. Your routine, your priorities, your boundaries, your entire environment. Injuries should be inflicted all at once. Benefits should be handed out slowly. Because if you change slowly, people resist. They negotiate with your progress. They find cracks in your transformation. They pull you back. But if you disappear for 30 days and return unrecognizable, why? Shock them. Sharper, colder, unbothered. They will not have time to react. 4. Ruthlessly manage your time and energy. Don't let it evolve politely. Evolve violently. Overwhelm them with your transformation before they can protest. In your old life, your time was stolen. Your attention was wasted. You said yes too often. You treated time as if it was infinite. Your time is for building. Now, every second is a weapon. Your energy is for execution. Your rest is strategic, not indulgent. Protect your hours like a tyrant guards his throne. Say no without explanation. Ignore calls. Leave texts unread. Walk away from anything that dilutes your intensity. This is not selfishness. Your calendar is no longer a diary. This is sovereignty. The ultimate test of rebuilding is this. 5. Design a life that intimidates your old self. It is a weapon to conquer your future. Would he endure your routine? Would she meet your standards? Would the old version of you survive in your new world? U.S. built something that demands evolution. Would they keep up with you now? If not, good. That sips the proof. Aim for dominance. Don't just aim for balance. If your new life doesn't make your old self uncomfortable, you didn't rebuild, you recycled. And neither can the version of you who once tolerated mediocrity. Build a life so structured, so focused, so powerful, that the weak cannot breathe in it. Music rises. There is one clear measure of whether your transformation is complete. If they still recognize you, you haven't gone far enough. People should look at you and feel confusion. They should hesitate before speaking to you the way they used to. They should feel fear. They should feel doubt. The old version of you, predictable, accessible, safe, not because you are cruel, but because your presence no longer leaves room for comfort. Untouchable. This new version, unrecognizable, unreachable. In transformation so absolute that even your allies are forced to rethink their position. Machiavelli did not believe in slow evolution. He believed in disruption, in shock. Notice, he didn't say, adjust. He wrote, a wise prince must change his conduct with the times. He said change. It comes like a guillotine. So how do you become unrecognizable? And in politics, as in life, real change does not arrive with a soft transition. Your transformation must cut into your core. 1. Eliminate every trace of the old. If your enemies from the past still know how to provoke you, you are not dangerous. You are just wearing a new outfit, a new vocabulary, a new posture, a new voice, new silence, new boundaries. Every detail must evolve. The old you was predictable, easy to read. Become different. Don't act different. People knew your triggers, your weaknesses, your habits. Now you erase those patterns. They knew how to manipulate you. You no longer laugh at the same jokes. You rewrite the entire script. You no longer apologize when you enter a room. That version of you is not taking a break. It is not retired. You no longer accept casual disrespect with a smile. 2. Abandon the need for closure. It is dead. One of the most dangerous emotional addictions is closure. You want to explain your silence. You want to send the final message. You want them to understand why you changed. Let them wonder. Machiavelli would remind you, power does not explain. Power acts. No. Let them stew in confusion. You don't clarify your transformation. Let them invent their own stories. The strongest move you can make is to vanish without explanation. You don't justify your decisions. You don't that offer reconciliation. They deserve only one thing, your silence. You owe them nothing else, and return in a form they cannot comprehend. 3. Master the art of emotional distance. It is about internal control. Becoming unrecognizable is not just about your image. Offended by small slights. The old you felt too deeply. Pulled into pointless arguments. Let that version die. Obsessed with being understood. Hungry for validation. Emotional detachment is your new armor. You don't flinch when disrespected. You don't that argue with fools. You move in silence. You don't waste time defending your name in public. You strike in darkness. You choose influence over reaction. A presence that makes people hesitate before speaking. This distance creates your aura. You are a mystery. You are no longer explainable. A silence that forces others to respect boundaries they cannot see. If the same people from your past still feel comfortable around you, your evolution hasn't gone deep enough. And mystery is more powerful than any statement you could make. 4. Create a life that repels the old crowd. The environment you now build should repel the unworthy. Not because you are unkind, but because your new pace, your new standards, your new hunger expose their lack of ambition. You don't have time for casual hangouts, for endless conversations about the past, for emotional handholding. You move fast. You talk sharp. Let them call you intense. You expect more. Let them say you have changed. They stare not wrong. Let them feel rejected. You've changed in ways they will never understand. This is evolution. You've upgraded in silence while they stayed nostalgic. This is not arrogance. You don't but belong in the same circles anymore. And that sets the point. You've severed ties.